Welcome back, YouTube. J-Bob, the video game slob, coming back at you. The last of the VGP orders, the last of the, Black Friday, Christmas, holiday sales, all that kind of stuff. Last big order came in. They just kept adding stuff, and if you're not tuned in, tune into them on like Facebook or wherever else. And they just kept dropping stuff. So I remember getting this one because I thought this was really kind of a funny topical thing at the time. It was right after the, murder of the pharmaceutical CEO, and everybody was talking about that. And so for $15, you got this nice, it's a Peggy, it's a PAL game, in a nice slipcover, big Pharma, the manager edition with DLC on disc and all those kind of boxes that you love having checked. And it just seemed like something there weren't many of out there, so I bought the last. They'll tell you, how many are remaining. So what was remaining? 4, 5, I don't know. I thought there was maybe one more of these sitting around, but maybe it was just 4. Oh yeah, there was. That's right. I already took it to my buddy because I got a copy for him. And so yeah, I just bought out what was left, and I brought it up to him, and there was one left for $15 on eBay a couple days ago. So that may still be out there if you're interested in that. I'd say why not? Other than that, there's going to be no copies available on the market, just for kind of a fun, interesting, cool game. So those will go into the hoard. Again, some of these are duplicates, but at $10, I was like, why not? Why am I not grabbing these? And some like Ty were more like $12. So we grabbed that one. That one was new. I loved Ty on the original Xbox. That was one of my favorite games back then. I think there's 3 in the series, or at least it went up to 3. I don't know if there's any offshoots, from there. This was one I had passed up in the previous orders and thought, why am I not picking this up for whatever it was, $15? It was from 2020, so it's, going on 5 years old. People love that Cyberpunk style, and obviously Cyberpunk the game has gotten to be very popular. So I went back and grabbed that again. This was like $10, so we just grabbed a second copy. I think this was maybe the last left or something like that. VGP will tell you how many they have left in stock, and so was kind of happy to grab that. And this, again, just another $12 one I didn't have, and thought, sometimes these games get sneaky hard to find, even used in that $5 to $8 range. So just in family fun games can be tough to find in a lot of these modern systems. Everybody's, of course, making AAA titles and the next arena shooters and all this kind of stuff, but parents and stuff, the family games sell for me really well, because there's often not a ton of them. And so oddly enough, although this is not a VG or a Red Art Games order, they had a bunch of the 2020, 2021, and 2022 Red Art games on clearance that I never saw on clearance myself before directly from their website, and so it was cheaper. I mean, most of these were 15 Canadian or less, and so a lot of these are only published to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 copies, and so it was like, not in my wheelhouse. 3D brawlers, Metroidvanias. Stuff like that, but for this price, it's like, well, we might as well pick a bunch of those up. They also had interesting stuff like this. The simulator games always seem to keep value for whatever reason. Obviously, people are very passionate about these kind of games, and so there you go. Set up a barbecue area, install a fountain, and you've got a garden simulator there. A ground, another like Metroidvania Explorathon kind of a game, so whatever, for a couple bucks, let's do that. I remember when this one came out and saying, like, that cover art is just so jank. Maybe that's the thumbnail picture. That there's no way I'm, buying this thing here, and so, now that it was a couple bucks and not whatever it was, 25 or 30 to get in when it dropped, let's pick that up. Gotta get those GS2 games you don't have and get all the different variants on all the consoles. They have to be the worst, crappiest line of games that have come out, but it's become a passion project at this point. I remember there was a whole line of games that Red Art put out that had the, black box style NES theming on them. I'm a fan of both the aesthetic, the font, and the just the cover art that they chose. Game Times U put out 2 in this Escape From series. I believe this is the first one in the series, and so since I had the second, I guess it's like, okay, it's cheap, let's pick that up. Again, I don't even think this is probably pre-AI art. I don't know what we'd call that kind of art, but just sort of generic looking pixel art style. I don't know. It was all the rage in that era, and so I just kept passing on them. But now that they've all been passed over and are super cheap, easy to pick up. I loved Vikings Wolves of Midgard on the 360. Fantastic, action RPG title there, and so cool that they came out with a special edition and brought it to the next set of consoles, so we grabbed that. Got to have that GS2 logo. Got to go to Bonetown. So, yeah, Willie Morgan taking us to Bonetown here. Once again, GS2 stealing our money. But, speaking of stealing my money, back to Red Art Games, the people who take all my money with yet another entry here that just, again, the cover art to me is so incredibly blah. Again, the simulator games, I love them. I think this, I may have paid up to maybe $15. If this was like 20 Canadian, I probably paid, 15 American to get it. I have not looked up. I am curious, are there, is this like a 5th release? Are there 4 individual releases? Or is that just, download only stuff? But, I don't know, firefighter games always seem to keep interest as well. So I always think those are kind of an interesting thing. Playable in English. Well, that's great. It's putting out a fire. How much language do you need? And just like Firefighters Airport. Why are so many of these at airport? I don't know. Weird stuff, but we got that. And speaking of weird stuff, the last item from the order today, Martian Panic. I love Martian Panic on the Wii. So the fact that they came out with this for the Switch, I was super stoked about. This was like $20 in the box. Obviously, you don't get a game. You don't get the remote controller. It's just a code. But you get the actual, fake gun. Huge fan of Mars Attacks. So, just something we had to pick up. I have the original with the big gun sealed on the Wii as well. So this will pair nicely with that. They also have a pair of 6-shooters. I believe it's the same company came out with, and so we'll have to keep an eye out for that, see if we can pick that up as well. I do have sort of a collection of all the various guns that have come out for various consoles over the years, so these kind of, cheap pieces of plastic that really don't add that much, and it's got that really cool gatefold. I can't do it one-handed, but it's Velcro, and you can fold it up and see into it and everything. So there you go. That's what we were picking up. That's the last of the VGP. And so what I thought was then the last of the holiday sales, but that wasn't the case. I got an email last week from Red Art Games. It's a winter sale, and they were doing 66% off all their games that they released. So coming in the mail here soon. We'll have those to look through. That was another couple $100, picking that up and splitting it with my friends. So I don't know. These games, they're just all under $20. A lot of them are limited, down to the last stock. Stuff that's just, I don't know how much you're going to see on the market, anymore. It's going to kind of dwindle. And so pick it up now while it's cheap kind of stuff for me. And again, I live in America, and the clock keeps ticking down. We may not be able to import this stuff from France, from Singapore, if it's Play Asia, from Canada. All this stuff may be getting hit with tariffs. So trying to do a lot of purchasing, from international outfits before maybe that happens, because that will really spike the price on being able to buy a lot of this cool stuff. So there you go. That's what J Bob the Video Game Slob is picking up today. What are you picking up? What are you playing? Let me know in the comments. We'll see you soon.